Myself, this is Mahesh Kumar, Assistant Professor of Chemistry. Uh, Today, in the environmental sustainability, today we are going to discuss the topic that is causes, effects, and preventive or control measures of land pollution. Causes, effects, and preventive measures of land pollution. Coming to the contents that we are going to discuss in this land pollution is introduction to the land resources, causes of soil erosion, and land degradation. Okay, these are the what actually the land resources, what is introduction to the land resources, causes of soil erosion, and land degradation are the topics today we are going to covered in the land pollution. Definition of what actually the pollution is. Pollution is nothing but any contaminant which causes adverse changes in the environment is called as pollution. Any contaminant which causes adverse change in the environment is called pollution, and the contaminant is known as pollutant. Any contaminant which causes adverse changes in the environment is called pollution, and the contaminant is called as known as pollutant. Okay, here pollution can take in the form of chemical substance or energy such as noise, heat, light. Pollutants, that components of pollution can be either foreign substances or naturally occurring contaminants. Okay, here pollution can take the form of pollution can be it may be in the form of chemical substance or in the form of such as noise, heat, or light is called as pollution. And the pollutant is nothing but the components of pollution is nothing but pollutant. It can be either in the form of foreign substances, either in the form of foreign substances or in the form of naturally occurring contaminants. Naturally occurring contaminants is called as pollution. Pollution contaminant is known as a pollutant, and the pollution can take the form of chemical substances or energy such as noise, heat, or light. Pollutants are the components of pollution can be either a foreign substances or energies or naturally occurring contaminants. Okay, coming to the classification of pollution, air pollution, there is air pollution, water pollution, soil or land pollution. This is what we are going to discuss in our today's class. Soil or land pollution and noise or sound pollution. Air pollution, water pollution, soil or land pollution, noise or sound pollution. Classification of pollution. Pollution may be air pollution, water pollution, soil or land pollution, noise or sound pollution. Coming to the what actually this land resources. Introduction to the land resources. Here, land is nothing but a major part of lithosphere. Okay, in the atmosphere there are hydrosphere, lithosphere, uh, atmosphere. It may be the land is one of the major part of atmosphere is a lithosphere. It plays a major role for the growth of crops. Okay, what is the land resources? Land plays a major part in the growing of crops, like growth of crops, or vegetation or forest, etc. Land plays a major role for the growth of crops, vegetation, forest, etc. Soils are formed due to the disintegration of rocks by various physical processes. Soils are formed due to the disintegration of rocks by various physical processes like change in temperature, pressure, blowing wind, and flow of water. Soils are formed due to the disintegration of rocks by various physical processes like change in temperature, pressure, blowing wind, and flow of water. All these are comes under the uh, water. Here, what actually the soil is? Soil is due to the disintegration of rocks. Okay, soil is nothing but it is formed by due to the disintegration of rocks or disintegration of rocks or by various physical processes like change in temperature, pressure, blowing wind, and and flow of water. All these are comes under soil. Soils are formed due to the disintegration of rocks by various physical processes like change in temperature, pressure, blowing wind, and flow of water comes under the water. Here, how the soil is formed. How the soil is formed. Soil is formed by the due to the disintegration of various physical processes like change in temperature, pressure, blowing wind, and flow of water comes under the land resources in that how the soil is formed. Coming to the types of soil, the top layer of the soil consists of a mixture of humus. Okay, what is humus? Humus is nothing but the dead and dead leaves and plants. Humus is nothing but the dead leaves and plants. We call it as a humus. It is a topmost layer of the soil. It is a topmost layer of the soil. Some of the living components, living organisms and inorganic components which supply nutrients to the soil. Topmost layer of the soil consists of humus, and here soil fertility. Soil fertility depends upon inorganic matter, organic matter, air, a variety of organic microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, which helps in the decomposition of organic matter and regeneration of nutrients. Regeneration of nutrients. Land is used for building homes, cultivating food, maintain pastures for domestic animals, industrial use, etc. Okay, what actually the humus is nothing but the topmost layer of the soil consists of the humus, which is nothing but the dead leaves and plants, and also it contains some of the living organisms or inorganic components which supply nutrients to the soil. What is soil fertility? Here, soil fertility depends on inorganic matter, organic matter, water, air, a variety of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, which helps in the decomposition of organic matter and the regeneration of nutrients. Regeneration of nutrients. Land is used for the building homes, cultivating food, maintain the pastures for domestic animals, industrial use, etc. Industrial use, etc. Land is used for building homes, cultivating food, maintain the pasture for domestic animals, and also industrial use, etc. Industrial use, etc. Here, the land is a physical entity which includes the natural resources like forest, water, minerals, food, etc. The land is nothing but a physical entity which includes natural resources like forest, water, minerals, food, etc. Land is the biggest resource for the biotic community to reproduce, live, sustain growth, exploit, and main life supporting activities. Okay, land is the biggest resource for the biotic community. Biotic is nothing but living component to reproduce, to live, to sustain, to grow, exploit, and many life supporting activities. It is one of the biggest resource for biotic community to reproduce, live, sustain, grow. It is equally important to protect forest, grasslands, wetlands, mountains, coast, etc. In the presence of biodiversity. It is equally important to protect forest, grassland, wetlands, mountains, coast, etc. in order to present the biodiversity. What actually the land is it plays a major role. What actually the soil composition is? Soil composition is nothing but soil fertility depends on the four major components. Okay, it is depends upon the major components, uh, mainly mainly Here, it is major components of the soil are minerals, materials. One is first component is mineral materials, organic matter, organic matter, water, and air. Here, the four major components of the soil are minerals, material, organic matter, water, and air. What is the mineral materials? Mineral materials like elements of silica, iron, oxygen, magnesium, calcium, sodium, potassium, etc. And silicon dioxide, quartz and iron silicates and aluminum silicates comes under the mineral materials. Here, mineral materials elements are silica, iron, oxygen, magnesium, aluminum, calcium, sodium, potassium, and etc. Iron silicates and aluminum silicates comes under the mineral materials. Organic matter came from the residue of plants and animals. It comes from the residues of plants and organic matter can be crop residues, grasses, bacteria, fungi, other microorganisms, and animal wastes. Okay, mineral materials, organic matter, water, and air. The soil fertility totally depends upon four major components. One is minerals matter, organic matter, water, and fourth one is air. What are the mineral materials? Mineral materials are the elements of silica, iron, oxygen, magnesium, aluminum, calcium, sodium, potassium, and etc. Quartz, silicon dioxide, iron silicates, and aluminum silicates comes under the mineral materials. What are the organic matter? Organic matter came from the residues of plants and animals. Organic matter can be crop residues, grasses, bacteria, fungi, other microorganisms, and animal wastes. Coming to the soil composition, in that third component is water and the fourth component is the air. What is water? Water is a good solvent for many nutrients which move into the plant roots. It is a good solvent for many nutrients which move into the plant roots. Air encourages optimum rate of essential metabolic process of various organisms. Air encourages the optimum essential. These are the four components. One is mineral materials, organic matter, and water and air. Mineral metals, all the minerals are included, including the iron silicates, aluminum silicates. Organic matter is nothing but the whatever the residues that are coming from the waste that is from the plants and animals. Organic matter can be crop residues, grasses, bacteria, fungi, other microorganisms, and animal wastes. Water and air. It is a good solvent for the many nutrients which move into the plant roots. Air encourages the optimum rate of essential metabolic process of various organisms. Land degradation. What is land degradation? Is nothing but any change in the land that reduces the quality and productivity is referred as land degradation. Degradation is nothing but change in the quality and productivity. Change in the quality and productivity of the land. Productivity of the land is referred as land degradation. Land degradation results in the deterioration of soil or nothing but loss of fertility of the soil is nothing but land degradation. It results in the loss of fertility of soil, loss of fertility of the soil is nothing but land degradation. Land degradation results in the loss of fertility of the soil. What is soil erosion? Okay, topmost layer of the earth is called as soil. Soil erosion is occurs due to the deforestation. One is deforestation, overgrazing, industrialization, desertification, etc. Soil erosion occurs due to the deforestation, overgrazing, industrialization, desertification, etc. Soil is not only immune to erosion and like rocks along the coastal line, it also erodes due to the effects of forces such as water, wind, farming practices. Okay, here soil erosion occurs due to the deforestation, overgrazing, industrialization, desertification, etc. Soil is not immune to erosion like rocks along a coastal line, soil can erode due to the effects of forces such as water, wind, and farming practices. Soil is naturally created when small pieces of weathered rocks and minerals mix with organic materials from decaying plants and animals. Soil is naturally created when small pieces of weathered rocks and minerals mix with organic materials from decaying plants and animals. Soil creation is a slow process. Okay, formation of soil is a slow process, taking many years to form soil particles. Soil creation is slow process. It takes many years. However, the soil that is created is constantly subjected to natural and man-made forces that are disrupt it. Okay, here soil creation is a slow process taking many years. However, soil that is created is constantly subjected to natural and man-made forces that disrupt it. Okay, soil erosion is nothing but the removal of topmost layer of the soil is nothing but soil erosion. It occurs due to the deforestation, overgrazing, desertification, and industrialization. All this leads to the soil erosion. Okay, here like rock along the coastal line, it can also erode the due to the effects of forces such as water, wind, farming practices. Soil is naturally occurring created small pieces of weathered rocks and minerals mixed with organic materials from decaying plants and animals. Soil creation is a slow process taking many years. However, soil is created, it is constantly subjected to natural and man-made forces that disrupt it. Here, soil erosion is defined as weathering away of topmost layer of the soil. Weathering away of topmost layer of soil is called as soil erosion. Topsoil is the top layer of the soil and the most fertile because it contains most of the organic nutrient rich minerals. Organic and nutrient rich minerals. Therefore, this is a layer that farmers want to protect from the growing their crops, and ranchers want to protect the for growing grasses for their cattle to graze on. Therefore, this is a layer that farmers want to protect for growing their crops, and ranchers want to protect from growing grasses for their cattle or graze on. One of the main cause of soil erosion is water erosion, which is nothing but the loss of topsoil due to the water. Loss of topsoil. Raindrops fall directly on the topsoil. Rainfall that fall directly on the topsoil. The impact of raindrops loosen the material, bonding it together, allowing the small fragments to detach. If the rainfall continues, what happens? The removal of topmost layer of the soil, the rainfall continues, water gathers on the ground, causing water flow on the land surface known as surface water or runoff. This runoff carries the detached soil materials away and deposits them elsewhere. This runoff carries the detached soil materials away and deposits them elsewhere. Therefore, there are some conditions that accumulate surface water runoff and therefore soil erosion. For example, if the land is sloped, okay, if the land is sloped, there is a greater potential for soil erosion. Due to that simple fact, gravity pulls the water and soil matters down the slope. Also, water will have a easier time running across the surface carrying topsoil with it. Okay, for example, the land is sloped. If this land is sloped, what happens? There is a greater potential of soil erosion due to the simple fact that the gravity pulls the water and soil materials down the slope. When water will have the easier time running across the surface, carrying topsoil with it. Types of erosions. There are four types of erosions, different types of soil erosions caused by the water. One is sheet erosion, slip erosion, rill erosion, and gully erosion. Okay, there are four types of soil erosions that are caused due to the water: sheet erosion, slip erosion, rill erosion, and gully erosion. What is sheet erosion? Okay, here the sheet erosion is nothing but erosion that occurs fairly evenly over an area. Okay, erosion that occurs fairly evenly over an area as a raindrops loosens the soil. Surface water runoff can be transport topsoil in a uniform fashion, almost like a bed sheet sliding off on the bed. Okay, here what is the sheet erosion is nothing but a sheet erosion that occurs fairly unevenly over an area. As a raindrop loosens the soil, surface runoff can be transported in a uniform manner, uniform fashion, almost like a bed sheet sliding on the sliding of a bed. This can be so subtle that might not even be noticed until much of the valuable nutrient-rich topsoil already been washed away. Okay, if a farmer heads out to his field and sees an accumulation of soil and crop residue at one end of his field, he should be worried about the sheet erosion. He should be worried about the sheet erosion. What is the slip erosion? There is a occurs due to the heavy rainfall on slopes of hills and mountains. Okay, like these are the hills on these. This type of erosion is nothing but we call it as a uh, slip erosion. Okay, it is commonly occurred on the slope of hills. Okay, it is commonly seen on slope of hills and the mountains. So we can observe the slip erosion. Slip erosion is due to the heavy rainfall falls on the slopes of hills and the mountains leads to the slip erosion. Here, coming to the real erosion is nothing but that erosion that results in the smart, short-lived and well-defined streams. Rill erosion is the erosion that occurs due to the small, short-lived and well-defined streams is nothing but rill erosion. When rainfall does not soak into the soil, when does not enters into the soil, it can be gathered on surface of and run downhill, forming a small channels of the water called rills. You can use this fact as a memory of jogger if you remember that a little will run downhill. Okay, you can see that memory jogger. If you remember that a little will run downhill is nothing but a will erosion. A rill will dry up after the rainfall, but you may still see that stream bed that are created by temporary streams. Rill erosion is due to the erosions that results in the small, short-lived and well-defined streams is nothing but rill erosion. When the rainfall does not soak into the soil, it can be gathered the surface and run downhill, forming a small channels of the surface called rills. You can use this fact as a memory jogger if you remember that a little rill will be run downhill. A rill will dry up after rainfall, but you may still see that stream bed that can be created by temporary stream. Gully erosion. Gully erosion is nothing but that is a fourth type of erosion. The soil erosion. It is can be thought of an advanced rill erosion. It is advanced to the rill erosion is the gully erosion. In fact, if rills are not addressed, they will grow into the larger gullies. If the rills are not addressed, they will grow into the larger gullies. Gully erosion can spell big problems for farmers because the affected land is not able to be used for growing crops, and big dishes create a hazard for farmer driving his farm machinery over the fields. Gully erosion can spell a big problem for farmers because the affected land is not able to be used for growing crops, and big diseases create a hazard for the farmer driving his farm machinery over the field. Here, causes of soil erosion. Here, what are the causes of soil erosion? Is deforestation, overgrazing, industrialization, and desertification. What is deforestation? Deforestation is nothing but removing the plants from the forest. Mining, industrial, urban development, etc., causes the deforestation. What are the factors that affects the deforestation? Is mining, industrial, urban development, etc., causes the deforestation that leads to the exposure of land to wind and rain, causing the soil erosion. Cutting trees leads to the deforestation, which in turn of organic matter in the soil. When a sufficient amount of grass is available for organisms, usually the entire land or area may be subjected to exhaust, and the land is exposed without grass, and ultimately the land is exposed to wind, causing the soil erosion. What is overgrazing means when sufficient amount of grass is available for the organisms, usually the entire land area may be subjected to exhaust. Here land is exposed without the grass, okay, without any grass. And ultimately the land exposed to wind, rain causing the soil erosion. What is industrialization? Industrialization is nothing but the different processes carried out by industries and mining operations causes the soil pollution, which leads to the degradation of land. Desertification is a process of conversion of productive lands to unproductive lands is nothing but desertification. What is desertification? Here the industrialization is nothing but carried out by industries and mining operations causes soil pollution, which leads to the degradation of land. Process of conversion of productive lands to unproductive lands is called as desertification. What is land degradation? Land degradation is defined as any change in the land conditions reduce the quality. Causes of land degradation is it is due to both the natural disaster like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, heavy rains, fire, or human-induced activities. What are the causes of land degradation? It is due to both the natural disasters like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, heavy rains, forest fires, etc., human-induced activities. Other causes of land degradation consists of wind blow, salinity of water, water logging, soil acidity, loss of flow, plants and loss of flora and fauna, etc. Other causes of land degradation consists of wind blow, salinity of water, water logging, soil acidity, loss of flora and fauna. Desertification is the land degradation occurring in the arid, semi-arid regions of the world. Desertification is nothing but land degradation occurring in arid, semi-arid regions in the world is nothing but desertification. These dry lands cover about 40% of Earth's surface and puts a risk about 1 billion people who are dependent on the land is for the survival. Land clearing and deforestation, mining activity in the forest areas, urban conversion, bringing more land under cultivation, soil pollution, loss of organic matter in soils, alkalization of soils, salinity of water, etc. All these are nothing but land degradation leads to the land degradation. What are the deforestation, mining activities in the forest areas, urban conversion, bringing more land under cultivation, soil pollution, loss of organic matter in the soils, alkalization of soils, salinity of water, etc. leads to the land degradation. Severe land degradation effects in the decreasing in mineral wealth and economic development of nation. The methods that are followed for the prevention of land degradation is called soil conservation method. What are the methods that we have to prevent the land degradation is nothing but soil conservation methods. Okay. Because of this land degradation, dry lands cover about 40% of Earth's surface and puts on risk that 1 billion people were affected because of this dependent on the land for the survival. Reasons for land degradation. One is population, urbanization, fertilizers and pesticides. All these are the and some other land degradations are the soil erosion, contamination of the soil with industrial waste, overgrazing and over irrigation. What is the reasons for land degradation? Population. Population is nothing but rapid growth in the population. More land is needed for producing food, wood, fiber, fuel, etc. Thus, land resources are overutilized, causing the land degradation. With rapid growth in the population, more land is needed for producing food, wood, fiber, and fuel. Thus the land resources are overutilized, causing the land degradation. Urbanization, because of population increase in the population, also increases. Urbanization leads to the deforestation, which affects millions of plants and animal species. Because of population, urbanization also increases. Thus, urbanization leads to the deforestation, which affects the billions of animals and plants and animal species. Fertilizers and pesticides. To improve the agriculture productivity, fertilizers and pesticides are used on large scale. The excess use of fertilizers, pesticides leads to the pollution of land and water. Thus, land gets degraded for there. Here, to improve the agriculture productivity and fertilizers, pesticides are used on large scale. The excess, whatever, if you excess use of these fertilizers and pesticides to the soil leads to the pollution of water and land. Thus, land soil gets degraded. Further, these are the population, urbanization, fertilizers and pesticides leads to the land degradation. Other forms of land degradation are other forms of soil erosion, contamination of soil with industrial waste, overgrazing, over irrigation. The references we are using for this environmental sustainability is Robertson Margaret Sustainability Principles and Practices, Routledge Taylor Francis Group 2017. Responsibility for teaching sustainability in the context of the Journal of Sustainable. These are the two references we are following for the environmental sustainability. One is Robertson Margaret Sustainability Principles and Practices, Routledge Taylor and Francis Group 2017. Responsibility for teaching sustainability in context. Journal of Sustainability Education. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.